But last week there was an announcement from Microsoft about a 0 day exchange hack. It was a pretty serious one. It was actually has made its way, and it was when it was announced, it was already being exploited. The good news is for a large majority of people nowadays, they're either on some type of hosted platform, Exchange, I'm sorry, like Microsoft 365 or Gmail, and those platforms were not vulnerable. But for those larger enterprise environments, they did have an, if you have an on-premise Exchange server that you're managing and maintaining, you were vulnerable. And if you haven't run the patch, you still are vulnerable. And it is a big patch. I mean, excuse me, not a big patch, but a big vulnerability. It allows users or various actors to get in and interact with your email and potentially get through your systems and get onto your network. If you haven't patched your Exchange server, you got to call an expert right away and get your Exchange server patched. Um, it is being exploited. It's not one of those where Microsoft found it, but no one's done anything with it yet. It is being exploited. So please get your Exchange server patched. But this brings me into the conversation that I wanted to talk to you guys about today: patch management. Patch management is no longer kind of a, well, we'll do it when we get to it. It is a requirement. Microsoft releases their patches. It's the first Tuesday of every month, so Patch Tuesday. Um, a lot of stuff comes out that day, and you have to get those patches deployed to your environment. We highly recommend that you do it in two stages: a test phase and a full phase. Both of them need to be done within the month. So we typically will do a test group the first weekend after Patch Tuesday, and we will do the final group the weekend or two after that, depending on the way the weekends fall in the month. As long as they are all deployed and so forth before next month's Patch Tuesday. The reason for the test patch is patches do break computers, and you got to be careful with that. Or it breaks your ERP system or something to like that extent. So test your patches first, then deploy them to everything else. Excuse me. The other piece of patching is Microsoft is no longer having new versions of operating systems. Windows 10 is it. They're done. They're not making a Windows 11. They are doing what they call feature updates. And those feature updates are large. They can take upwards of 2 hours to upgrade your computer. And Microsoft is not allowing you to block them. Well, they are, but you're only allowed to block them for up to a year, and then they are just going to happen. Those feature updates are requirements. They're new. That is your new Windows. It's going from Windows 8 to Windows 10. As long as you have a legally licensed copy of Windows 10, you will be continue to get the updates. So everyone's like, well, that's great. I don't have to buy Windows again. Here's a little bit of the rub. It's reinstalling, it's adding a lot to your operating system. So your computer is going to get potentially slower as those patches come through. That is why most people replace their computers every 3 to 5 years. With the feature updates, though, those feature updates are more likely to break your software than the normal monthly security updates. So those, we recommend you do a multi-phase test approach. You should be putting them on multiple computers, one at a time, double checking your applications and so forth, and get that together so that you can verify and control the rollout. If you wait for the year, it's just going to happen. And if it just happens, you're going to have potential issues where you're not going to know how it's going to affect your ERP software, whatever the case may be. Managing that patching procedure is a requirement in today's arena. You should have a policy and a procedure written and documented about patch management and how you do it, when you do it, and what risks you are having if you don't do it. So make sure that you are working with your IT team, and your IT team is working with the management team to understand and set expectations and risks so that you can know what you're going to do. There are people out there that are still running Windows 7. Windows 7 is no longer getting patches. It is sunsetted. But you might have a risk out there that you have to use, that you have accepted because you have an application that you can't afford to upgrade to route on something that runs Windows 10. As long as it's documented and you have done your best possibility of, air gapping that computer from the internet, et cetera, et cetera. So keep an eye on those and make sure you have your policies and procedures written and that you document the exceptions to your policies and procedures. But patches should be reviewed and deployed monthly. Smaller environments, 2 or 3 man shops that use Microsoft Word and that's about it. Turn on automatic updates and just let them roll. You'll be constantly updated. Same thing as your cell phone. You get the updates. Just turn them on and let them roll. Bigger offices with larger, more complex environments, with larger, more complex applications, create testing policies. You can create policies that automatically will deploy everything to these 5 computers on the Wednesday after Patch Tuesday. And then you just sit back and read the logs, verify that everything is good, and then you have another policy that goes on the 20th of the month that deploys to everyone else. If you don't have any complaints, if nothing breaks on the first whatever week after your testing, let the second policy roll. If not, pause it, figure out what broke, and then put it through. Document that though. Document that you paused it. Document when you paused it, why you paused it. Make sure that you have all those so that when you come back to it and go, okay, why did I do this? You have proof and documentation. Apologize, I had another train of thought on that. Servers. Servers do typically require reboots on patches. I highly recommend you turn off automatic reboot on your servers and you schedule an outage maintenance window. Smaller shops could be whenever, maybe you close your office at 5, you have a maintenance window every day from 5 p.m. till 9 in the morning. Bigger shops, maybe it's once a month. I encourage the larger enterprises or the larger environments to make sure that it is at minimum once a month. We have a few customers that we co-manage our IT with, and they have small windows every week. So this week they are doing test patches to this server group, and they're going to have to reboot. Next week, if everything goes good, they're going to have this server group get the patches. And then the third week, they're going to have the rest of the server group get the patches. So they're doing, instead of doing a 7-hour outage, they're doing a 1-hour outage. But they're doing it every week. So now you have to have an engineer that has to work Saturdays and or Sundays every week. However you get it done, just make sure that it's getting done and that it's getting rebooted. Don't just push the patches and assume that everything went great, because what'll happen is you'll have all these patches will stack up, and then you're going to get stuck with a reboot of a server that can take upwards of 2+ hours. One thing, if I have my PC down for 2 hours, I can go find another place to log on and work. If my server's down for 2 hours, that's a struggle. If it's a domain controller with DNS, you could be in some trouble. So if you don't know if you have a patch management policy or procedure, give your IT guy a call and ask him, what are you doing? Find out why, find out how, find out the documentation, make sure you've got it. Verify that your computer you can type in on your computer, start search update and go from there. And see what your updates are looking like. See if you need more. If you don't have patches, give us a call. We can help you out. If you're one of our customers and you don't have patches, give me a call right away, because I got to figure out why? Just kidding. Looking forward though to having, drop me a line in the comments below. Let's talk a little bit more. If you have any questions about patch management, what kind of software you should utilize for it, um, how you want to manage it, how you want to outsource it, how you want to write a policy about it, give us a call. Or like I said, post a comment below at BKS-systems in social media. Check us out. One more quick thing. Patches don't just mean Microsoft. It means Adobe, it means Flash, it means Java, it means Google, it means Office. It's the whole platform. Don't just assume that because you patched Microsoft that everything else is patched. Make sure that you're constantly looking at all of your vulnerabilities. You want to have somebody come in and help you find some vulnerabilities and do a scan, we'd be glad to help you out. Once again, give us a call or make some comments below and we will engage and start, helping you out. Guys, girls, women, appreciate you guys, everybody tuning in. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Love it if you give this a share and a comment so that more people can see it. And hopefully we'll meet sometime face-to-face in person. If you have any questions, let us know. If you have any thoughts for another podcast that you'd like, or if you have any ideas of somebody that maybe would be great for me to interview, let me know below. I'd be glad to talk to you guys. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you next week. Thank you again. Have a great day.